Good morning, guten Tag, guten Morgen to everyone in the online world. How? And today we are actually about to start the WIPO Scale Up IP program. I'm enrolled for it, and it starts around 17:30 IST. So that's in a while. I just wanted to touch base on the Madrid Protocol, particularly the international trademarks. So I'll just browse it and let's see. Okay, so I have shared. Hi, Sandra. How are you doing? Okay, so the discussion here is to understand the landscape of Madrid Protocol and particularly understanding few of the terms in. So trademarking is under 45 clauses, and the clause, particularly clause 35 to 45, hold a lot of importance from the point of view of business. And when an online business is being run, when an online business is being run, so we'll take care of that aspect afterwards. So this discussion is only catering to the understanding of the trademarking, particularly the Madrid protocols, and from even the coding point of view, we have clauses 35 to 42. One particular clause which has my attention, just give me a moment, is so there's okay. So there's synopsis, or I would rather say there are a couple of words around which one can code and decode a lot of things. Say, for example, custom design. Custom design itself can be tailor made, it can be end to end also. So, as a lexicon, building your codes for the small language model, it is very important to understand and respect the intention around the designing process and how the customization is done. And particularly, customization is proprietary stuff, proprietary in terms of the layout with the software part of it, which is all to do with understanding of how the data would be fed, where HASSIP would be deployed. A very important HASSIP is analysis critical control points. And once the basic layer architecture is ready, testing happens. Now, for the test to be undertaken, both in the offline and in the online world, both hybrid and remote model, it is important to identify the candidates, and the candidates should be onboarded by telling them the at least the basic framework they should know, so that the core framework becomes better. And for the core framework to become better, it's important not only play the landscape of understanding the countries globally right now, but when we are talking about Madrid Protocol, there are like the last assignment I had taken for the Madrid one, we filed in so many countries. And if I just, oh my gosh, the other day, um, I was playing around with some of the models of the proprietary stuff, and I create a nomenclature map of the countries in which we had filed for Madrid Protocol. And in some of the countries, we just got the certificate in the shortest possible time. And this is before WIPO. WIPO stands for World Intellectual Property Organization. There are a lot of players in the market who are trying to diminish the whole understanding of what smart contracts is all about, or what are the agencies. I'll give you one example here. Probably this would be year 2011, 2012. um, on and off, I do a lot of consultation. Earlier also, now also. Now I do consultation in different manner. However, in those days, there were a couple of parties just to understand the process. So, what they were of the viewpoint is, or perhaps they have already deployed it in multiple ways, is at the UI end, that is the user interface end, depending upon the candidate, they're taking the data, the input data. So, data perhaps for folks like us is the understanding of the disclosure form. It's what we call as IDF, invention disclosure form, or we have something called as, if I'm talking about trademark. So trademark is basically how the consumer is going to identify who you are. But that doesn't mean that if you're good enough, if your business is big enough, if you see the opportunity of the business, not from the standpoint view of the biggest number, but from the standpoint view of the service, then that can be commissioned. Otherwise, it's not a very good option to even file a trademark at the first place, because you need to have a revenue model, you need to have a monthly churn, then only these things come into practice. But at the same point of time, it becomes very evident given the fact that India at 79 is playing the biggest, I won't say the biggest, because if you go back 10,000 years ago, India perhaps has been land of wisdom. It is a land of wisdom. It's just that because of so many shifts over the years and decades, few of the folks have lost touch with reality of what this country is all about. If we go back to that era, if you just see the historical data set, it's very evident that this country was one of the happiest country in the world, given the data set that it is located at a very prime location above the equator, and that makes this land very fertile in many ways. It's just that right now we have some major issues to tackle. That is the nature is perhaps the first line of defense because of this global warming. Without even understanding, um, so many things were introduced just because folks wanted to make money in short term. However, once you understand it from the long term point of view, the hashtag, because India 10,000 years was also not called India, so I don't know what will be the right hashtag. So I'll refrain myself from utilizing any of the hashtags right now. But as I walked you through the words which are important from the plumbing point of view of understanding and preparing your proof of stake, so you can use this data set, I'll be talking for next couple of minutes and I'll wrap it up. The other thing which I wanted to talk about was So, um, there has been a lot of funding from all the players in the world in name of mapping. And mapping itself is nothing but telling or putting a mark on the map in the online world that this is the address of the candidate. And in India, we don't have province. In some countries, the province itself is called Jalan. Um, in India, different states have different nomenclature of this word that is a lane. So, what I want you guys to look into is I'm just being candid here. I'll just give you a 6-digit number and look into it and see that if you can figure it out in terms of the mapping and use it as a POS. It's ein 99 fumf fumf fumf. So this is the code word for this. Look into it. I've been seeing the word for quite a while now. So this is one thing. There's a lot of okay, this one is good. I'll just see. Look into nice classification number 10, and particularly, okay, there's something called as Vienna classification. When we are trying to understand Vienna classification, we have classification of Vienna classification in terms of digits. So a couple of digits I want to you guys to focus on and work on it and see how it can be utilized. So we have 26.04.07, that is two quadrilaterals, one inside the other. Then we have uh, for the square is 26.04.01. I would also say 04 period 01 squares. And then we have 25.0501 background divided into two vertically. This one is one of my favorites. Honestly, people don't understand one aspect. This is a hallucinated data set which I'm talking about right now. So, okay, this is never the shape of heart, right? However, you will see this shape of heart everywhere. The real heart doesn't look like it. It's a very different contouring altogether. So for the hearts, we have 0209, 02 period 09 period 01, and we have, so I'm going to talk about stars, that is 01.01.10 stars with more than 4 points. So that means, so more than 4 points is at least 4 points. So that's how we write in the patenting world. And one star is 01.01.02, that is one star. Uh, Honestly, I don't know what's the Vienna code for black star. That was pun intended. So this is basic understanding of the classification. Look into nice classification, particularly classification number 10. Look into the aspect of the trademark and just divide the quadrant and see how you want to bifurcate the data set. It's really interesting data set from the point of view of creating the POS. Thank you for watching out this understanding and have a great day ahead.